Hello again everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're in Szcezecin-Goleniow. I'm sure I've pronounced that correctly, and no, this is not Train Simulator. I'll see you in a mo. First up, thank you for bearing with us today. It's been a bit of a hectic day with a couple of different plan changes last minute, so a little bit of a later start. Welcome to Poland everybody, we're in the RJ100 and we start off here at a new developer's scenery, Papa Delta Studio. They've created this scenery which is a very kind of remote looking, it's almost general aviation sort of airport, but it has got some scheduled services with some E-jets available from Sim Market. It's about £9 odd, and we've got a copy of this to give away today as well. Wherever you are in the world, good to have you on board, and yeah, thank you for bearing with us. It's a very basic scenery, this is, to be fair, blank kind of advert boards, that kind of thing, but from a distance it's got some nice touches to it. The buildings from afar look quite nice, up close it looks fairly generic. And I wasn't sure if the puppy was going to kind of settle or not today. She's already whining downstairs, so trying to sort her out today. Badger, welcome. Chris Packett, Ian, hello to you guys. Callum, welcome, good to see you. Rab and Rob. As is the case with a lot of the giveaways that we do on the channel, we'll basically fire in a what you call, like a question that you guys need to answer. Not particularly difficult question, I'll need a answer to it, and that will get you an entry, and we'll draw therefore 2 winners, which will give, I think first off, the first winner will win this Papa Delta Szcezecin-Goleniow. I'm not even going to try. EPSC is the ICO code. EPSC Airport for MSFS 2020 and 2024, and the other person will win a copy of the Aura Scenery Roskilde, which is our first destination of today. There's the beautiful ATR. There is a static here and you can take it off, but I'd forgotten in haste because I was fiddling around with AIG today. But yeah, from a distance and with the Osprey paints adored, it looks alright on the apron, doesn't it? But nothing spectacular, but then it is less than £10 as well, so actually not too bad for value for money. Here we are on stand 2 in the Aura RJ. I'm hoping everything's going to work nicely today, and I'm expecting the missus to be home in about 25 minutes hopefully to then deal with the puppy, so that will be one less worry. There she is in the Osprey regional paint, love it, love the lights as well. This is kind of the latest version of the RJ Professional in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Hello David. Let's dive into the flight deck and have a look at our plan for today. We've got 1228. Szcezecin, Szcezecin? Yeah, we'll go with that. Szcezecin traffic, Osprey 165, ready to check. Awesome! Hopefully you guys can hear the air traffic control as well, not the air traffic control, but the other traffic around us. We can load up the charts. And we have got some RNAV departures here today. A little apron up here, we've got a GA apron and a control tower, some cargo right down the bottom, though it is quite an interesting one actually. Will hopefully look left on the departure. Effectively it's a load of warehouses that are covered in graffiti. And very limited kind of stands and things. We've got the music playing in the background from the boarding music, so let's just get rid of that so we can mute that. You can hear that kind of Caribbean theme music that plays in the background while you're boarding in the RJ. So we're going to have a very short taxi, runway 13 in fact. I've not even done my notes for today. What do we stand to? RJ100, QNH currently 1012. And we're going to be departing 1-3 on the Nehim 1 Delta departure, and that initial climb I think is about 6,000, but we'll have a look in a moment. So super short taxi to Bravo, full length 2,500 metre runway, so not massively long but certainly long enough for this, and then departing southeasterly to SC611, then routing north all the way up to flight level 100 at or above by Nehim. So in fact we will plonk that to about 12. So one less thing for me to worry about whilst we are fighting with the beast. Right, what do we got here? Let's see, 2 sectors today. So we've got our work cut out for us. It is all being a bit later. I've got to prep for work tomorrow morning, so a little bit more rushed than I usually am. Right, that's all good, and we've already done the pre-flights, so it's all down in here. Don't forget, if you are in the RJ Professional, you need to align the IRSs down there. They do take a while, about 10 odd minutes, 10 to 15 minutes if you've got it set to kind of real time, which I think they might be fixed onto real time potentially. Departures, arrivals, that's already done. The arrivals page hasn't been done yet. We'll do that in the cruise, just because the weather is a little bit changeable at Roskilde at the moment. So I'm just curious as to what runway we choose. One of them is very short. Total length is 1,500 meters. I want to avoid that one if I can. Flight director's on 12, runway heading, and we're going to do flap 2 departure. That's V2 of 127. Let's get the APU on. That's still an animation that's broken for me. That's all good, that's all set. If we've got an issue after takeoff, we'll just maintain runway heading, deal with it, try and climb if we can, if we've got the power. Get rid of the stairs. So as always, after departure we'll then start the giveaway for the first sector. You'll need to be a subscriber to the channel at the very least, and then answer a question correctly in the live chat when we do answer it. It's a super easy question, to be fair. Ground power needs to stay on, chocks needs to stay on as well. What have we got here? APU power available. Let's bring her online, and external power can come off. Would have helped if I put all the pumps on there. And engine anti-ice now needs to come on, ready for the engine start. That's all good. That's seats, lights and signs. Beacon on. We don't need to worry about pushback today because it is a swivel off left and taxi away jobby. So that'll work out quite nicely for us. Wind here at Goleniow is 140 at 9. Cav OK, QNH now 1011. So we'll just change that to 1011. That's all good. Throttles are locked, they're all away. Transponder set to 2000. Radios are all set. We are good for starts. Clear the ground power. Just make sure the old parking brake is on. Where is it? Yep. And chocks. Oh, that's sod's law, isn't it? Oh no, that's the F28, good. The F28 has just had an update, folks. Version 2.1, very exciting. Chocks off and grey. Radio. Judging traffic, Osprey 165, stand 2 is engine start. APU air would help. That's all off. Packs are off.
Traffic, yeah, Osprey 45
Beacon on. Engine start. Let's get rid of that heavy metal. Keep an eye on the start sequence, fuel flow N2, all that looks good. Unlock engine 1 to idle. Good old FSLTL and their rubbish sounds. Oh my goodness. Makes the whisper jet seem really quiet. We'll depart with Flex today, but I'm just going to have a little look at the performance tab in SimBrief. Yeah, thrust toga max. It says output 80, flaps 18. It suggests actually. Cool. Engine 1 gen on. Waiting to throw the fuel in. That'll do. Near about 20. Got some animated people walking about there. Yeah, not an amazing bit of scenery. It's their first foray into scenery creation by the sounds of it. But yeah, it's on Sim Market. I think it's about, well, it's less than £10 including tax from memory. So not too bad at all. Mikhail, hello buddy. Mikhail ordered one of our A350 crew t-shirts the other day. Very exciting. First order of the new merchandise line. Hopefully that's whisking its way to you very soon. Engine 2 on. Whack the PTU on. Trying to remember the flow of things in here. I might get a few bits wrong. I tend to cock something up once or twice. What have we got there? Let's pop that on. We'll just go a bit of illumination. 20. I could use the checklists, but you know, you guys don't watch it for long enough. You know, I don't bother with that. Rab, indeed, long time since we've had a giveaway for sure, and yeah, we've got 4 today now. So courtesy of Papa Delta Studio, we've got one of these to give away. Then we've also got a copy of the new Roskilde scenery and 2 copies of the Aberdeen, which is pretty cool. I remember flying into Aberdeen last time actually. That's when, in fact, that's when Zato did the flyover with the Vulcan, if you guys remember that. That was the last time we were in Aberdeen. Where's me legs page? There it is. Let's get that one up. And FMC legs. Engine 4 to idle. We're getting there. The Osprey regional livery from FSLTL. Painted by Tapsy. It's part of the new update. The latest kind of big sort of thing. It looks really cool, doesn't it? I just wish we had a decent, you know, E-Jet series in the sim for us to actually enjoy. A little bit of an LOD issue there. Look, I've just noticed that with the light poles. Look. 1, 2, 3. They are all on and stable. So starter can come off. Leave continuous ignition on, and the APU can stay on. APU air, packs, recirc, engine air off, anti-ice for the engines can come off, generator 4 online, galley can have some power. We'll pop the taxi lights on. Just make sure I've got, yeah, good. New sky logging away in the background. We'll do some flight control checks, so we go fully left, fully right, all the way back. Just going to press the centre of gravity there just to get all that sorted out. And set flaps 24 as we do some rudder pedal checks. They're travelling. Right, short taxi, let's rock and roll. Szcezecin traffic, Osprey 165. From stand 2, taxiing across the apron to hold point Bravo, runway 19. Let's fire up the old Topi eye tracker for about a little bit. Tracking the turn, but I'm going as tight as I can, just because I'm curious or conscious of that wing there. Just ran over a guy, but he didn't get out of the way. It's his own fault. So right ahead of us, just zoom in, there's the control tower. You've got a couple of these little, well, I think they're yaks, which is quite nice to see. The general aviation apron. And then right down the bottom there's like a little military apron with some hardened aircraft shelters. And then with that there is also like a cargo warehouse thing that looks a little bit derelict. It's got graffiti on it, which is quite cool. Just taxiing along on idle quite happily. Flaps 24 checked and set. Config check. No horn. It's the only horn in my house. Let's clear that. OFP. There's our METARs for the day. So we won't dilly-dally too much, we'll just dive in straight for a departure. So I'll pop the runway exit lights on. And then using Bravo we will head on out. Just in traffic, Osprey 165 is via Bravo lining up runway 19er. Check of the windsock.
Still traffic, Osprey 455.
Get the crew seated, we get our cabin secure. And strobes, runway turn, landing lights. And that's cabin secure hopefully.
Cabin is secured.
Lovely jobbly. TARA for the transponder, get that active. We want LNAV. Approach path is clear. I do like that, there's a VOR there as well, which is quite cool. It's a nice bit of scenery, this nestled away. Is your warning memo button pushed in? What the mate? I think I said 19, didn't I? But I meant 13. Brakes. There are many red buttons. Is your warning memo button pushed in? The red button on the right side near the FO. Let's try and quickly find it. Is it that one? There you go. Good spot. Right. Flaps 24, 122, 127. That's all good. That's all set. Let's get the weather radar on. Comms, standby instruments, flight deck door, stick forwards, tiny weeny crosswind. Just in traffic, Osprey 165, taking off runway 13. Nehim, 1 Delta departure, Szcezecin.
Check thrust.
Traffic,
Thrust set.
yeah.
Airspeed alive.
Forgot the order thrust as well, chuffing neck.
80 knots. Go. Rotate.
This handles so well.
Positive climb. Gear up selected.
Gear up. And fly. Just going to poke out. Look, there's that warehouse, folks, and the military apron. That one there has got the graffiti on it. Okay, runway turn-off lights can come off. And we'll go climb norm. Bring it to 180. Let's give it level change, speed mode, to see how it handles that. So LNAV, speed mode, 12. That's all good. That's all off.
Speed checked. Flaps 18.
Flaps 18. Check. AP off. Autopilot 1 engaged. That would help, wouldn't it? Oh my god, that sums up how tiring today has been for me. APU, cancel. Yeah, it's been a full-on day, really full-on day. And obviously I was supposed to be streaming about 3 hours ago, so we would have kind of been towards the end of today's live stream, but that hasn't been the case. The dog's been a bit wacky. Let's bring it to 250. Stick to level change again. Let her accelerate away. Look how sloppy I am, my goodness. Not usually this bad. Hey ho. Hello Peter, welcome. Cheers buddy. James says, how did you enjoy the sim at Gatwick? Honestly, it was superb. It was so cool. I was so pleased to have been able to be involved as well with just going down and checking it out and having a go, recording a few bits. And showing all of you folks as well what's out there for you to enjoy. There's some really truly spectacular bits of hardware involved. The RTX 5090 as well made the simulator look insane. And the camera positioning, I suppose, doesn't really do it justice, because the way that it was positioned kind of showed the screens in all their glory. But when I was seated in that seat, it was like a wrap round, like really immersive setup that made me really think that I was kind of sat in a flight deck. It was pretty cool. It was like this Sklarky home trainer flight deck and a few other cool bits. Just in traffic, Osprey 165 said turning north through 5000, climbing final call.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has switched off the streetlight sign. You are free to move out the cabin.
That looks good. Right, let's fire up the giveaway. Let's do that. Right, so this is the giveaway for leg 1 of today. To be in with a chance to win a key for the scenery we've just departed from. That will be put into your Sim Market account as a little bonus extra, thanks to the Papa Delta studio team, and a copy of Aura Scenery's Roskilde that we're flying to for this first sector. All you need to do is answer the following question correctly in the live chat. You've got to be a subscriber, as is the case usually, and all the terms and conditions are down in the live stream description for today, so have a little look, make sure you can adhere to those at all times prior to entry. Right, so the question is this. Recently, as of about last week, I went down to an airport in the south of England to go and enjoy a flight simulator experience from Infinity Simwings flying that A320, and a lot of you have already seen those videos that we've got for that as well. But what I want to know is this: what airport did I go down to? Which airport did I go down to for my flight simulator experience last week? And if you're not sure, you can always go back and check out the videos. So they are particularly cool. There's another video going live this weekend as well. Slightly different angles for the GoPro, but you know, I basically had to fiddle around with different angles and things. hopefully you guys enjoyed the face reveal. I should have put makeup on for you guys. Like studio lighting makeup, like the celebs. First flight time is pretty short. It's I think we're in the air for about 45 minutes. Cruise of 240, which is what we've got set up for now. We're basically heading up over north of Poland. I'd be lying if I said I knew what sea we were. The Baltic Sea. Good old Valanta. We're flying over the Baltic Sea, and then skirting past Malmö in Sweden in towards Copenhagen, and we're basically passing to the south of Copenhagen, the actual airport of Copenhagen. Actually flying underneath the flight path. So interestingly, we've got Copenhagen approach online, and we may or may not get ATC from them. We'll have to find out. That could be quite tricky. If, by the way, you wanted to have a little look at booking that flight sim experience for yourself, you can. You can go to infinitysimwings.com, and for every single person watching today, you can use code AVGEEK5 to get 5% off your total kind of bill at checkout when you're buying any of their packages. They've got like basic and advanced packages of 2 hours, half day and full day, for example, which is quite cool. So there's something for everybody there. I appreciate you've got to travel to to the location where they are based. Just gave away the answer, my goodness. It's been a long day. Yeah, albeit you've got to travel down to their location, but a superb experience. If you're a silver frequent flyer, then you can get 10% off using your dedicated code, and that's in your community post tab. You could always upgrade to silver, get the 10% off code, and then use that potentially, and then downgrade another point if you wish to, as one way to kind of get a bit of a discount. And if you're a gold frequent flyer, then you can get 15% off your package price, which is a pretty cool offer. As of now, we are the only channel offering anything like this, which is pretty cool. We're the only channel to have ever seen it as well. So I've reached out to a few other content creators to see if they're interested in going down there. So watch this space. Hopefully we can get the word out there a bit more. We can also zoom on up. Peter, it depends on what package you're looking at booking, mate. Let's have a little look. I know the full day is a bit expensive, but obviously you get a bit of money off from the discount. And it depends if you're sort of getting the 5%, the 10% or the 15% off. For those of you who might be travelling a little way as well, the hotel opposite does a discount scheme where you can get, I think, 20% off the room rates, which is a nice way of kind of, you know, having somewhere to stay that's literally opposite them. That's potentially quite useful to have for some of you. The basic experience, Peter, 2 hours basic experience, 375, and that's you flying from gate to gate for a full flight. You've got an experienced instructor acting as a first officer, challenging weather at your request if you wish, or you can just leave it on live weather, and you do the full startup and shutdown procedures as well, with you in control the whole time. And then you got half day £549 and a full day £799 for basic. If you're going for advanced, then it's really kind of more closely going for SOPs and things. That's 450 for 2 hours, 650 for half a day, or 900 for a whole day. Minus whatever discount you end up kind of using the code for. Mr. Aneurysm, hello buddy, nice one, good to hear, you enjoyed the video. Yeah, it's worth saying, as David's mentioned, Sim Update 2 is a beta, so it is likely very buggy. A lot of people seem to dive into these beta builds as soon as they get released. I personally, like I did with the MSFS 2024 Sim Update 1 beta, I waited for about a month. And then I waited until most people were saying how fantastic it was, and they weren't really mentioning any issues anymore, and then I signed up for the beta. because it was pretty much at a state that it got released into, if that makes sense. So that, you know, that's how I deal with the betas. I kind of stay away from them a little bit. Oh, EKRK ATIS, runway in use 21, folks. So we are in for a spicy one. I'm just copying and pasting the actual ATIS from VATSIM into the where is it? Into the live chat. Bear with me. It's being a bit funky. There we go. Peter Epic. Oh, that's perfect for you then, if you live close to Gatwick. Right, so that, I mean, that's going to be quite tricky then. As we're climbing, we're pretty much at top of climb. Let's just dive straight into the charts then for the approach. We're going to have to change the plan, and the plan was this, ILS-11, which has a nice long 1,799 metre runway, which in effect would be about 1,500 by the time we plant the wheels on the ground. But the ATIS now gives us this 1,500 metres of usable length, arriving on runway 21. So we're going to have to adhere to that on VATSIM really, unless we're really unable, and then we could say to ATC are unable. Landing beyond the glide slope. Oh my goodness. 1,186 metres. Is that achievable? I've got minus figures in my sim brief here. Apparently we might overrun by 133 metres. Oh boy. Our maximum runway weight exceeded with the RJ. Of course it is. Right, well we better configure for that then. So we go departures, arrivals, EKRK, expect ILS runway 21. Let's just have a look at the old chart, Roonies. Probably just transition straight to final, I would imagine, because we're coming in from the east. So I think I would just... Is that Malix? Yes. I'll put Malix in as the transition because that's the final approach fix. That works, I think. Tidfu, discontinuity, then Malix. So if I delete the discontinuity, it's not going to let me because it's a little bit old school. So I'll go Malix, execute. It's the thing, flying these aeroplanes after some time, you try and remember the different ways of doing it. ILS-21 minimums. What have we got? Rad out 200. It's 346 on the barometric altitude, so we'll set about 360-ish. Decision height 200 can go there on the box. 2 to go for cruise. We've got a bit of an advisory VNAV in this, but we also have a little bit of air traffic control, just to make things spicy. That's going to be 119 at 805. We need an ILS frequency in the box of 1087. I'm happy this is a little bit of a forgiving aeroplane at times. So, on to go. 207. Ooh, wibbly wobbly. 207. Cruise speed's good, nice and rapid. And is it a 3-degree glide slope? Yes. Park brakes off. We're effectively going to have to plant it down right near the threshold and then whack on the brakes. Flight Sim Jim, welcome buddy, thank you very much. By the way, if you're watching in the background and you're a content creator with, you know, over sort of 20,000 subscribers or something like that, then feel free to let me know, and I can try and get you in touch with the Infinity Simwings team. Rocks up, so 40 nautical miles to final approach. The missed approach then is going to be this for the ILS. There's no arrival procedures either. That's good, yep. Right, so we're going to basically fly in from this sort of direction. Probably in this kind of corridor here, if you like, with ATC. There we are, it's a terrible plane. So let me try again. There we go, that'll do. But yeah, you get the gist. We'll fly in this direction and then we'll join at Malik straight on to final approach. So we'll be coming in at 3,000 feet, that's the target for us, and that'll give us 2 miles to stabilise our altitude before hitting the glide slope. Minimums 346 on the Barrow, 200 on the Radow, and a little bit of taxi work to do when we do land on 2-1. I think this is one of the shortest runways I've landed an airliner on full stop in the sim, so it's going to be interesting. No room for error. Basically we're running off right at the end, taxiing up Alpha into this little terminal area here. Now what's interesting with Roskilde is it's effectively a very posh general aviation and training airport, in the sense that the Danish authorities, the people who run Copenhagen Kastrup Airport for example, thought about creating Roskilde and extending the runways in order to better serve the regional airliners, and Ryanair and a few other airliners for example were interested in beginning flights from there, but it never happened, probably partly because of how close it is to Kastrup Airport. But nevertheless we fly in anyway, and we have a little look at what Aura Scenery have created, because it is quite nice. What have we got here? 1368. On ADF1. That'll be for the missed approach to fly up to Roskilde NDB and hold. It's climbed to 500 feet, then a right turn climbing to 2000 to the lock centre. That's set, that's set. Course, they're all set. Landing elevation, we need to set, that's 146. 100's the closest I think that we can get to, so we'll leave it there at 100 instead of 0. Look at that. MSFS 2024 is superb. There she is, the mighty RJ. Superb. Absolutely superb. Not flown it in 2020 yet, of course, but in 2024 it's a properly majestic, very capable aeroplane. And you can buy that from JustFlight's website or on Contrail as well. And if you've never used Contrail, you're perhaps watching for the first time, down in the description for today's live stream there is a 10% off coupon code for all of you to go and use. One-time use per person to get 10% off your total order at Contrail. And that's contrail.shop/British AvGeek for our affiliate sort of / referral link. Rock sub's coming up. Rock sub Tidvu. So after Tidvu, we'll be slicing into Malmo. But what altitude do we want to be at Tidvu at? 206. It's a bit high. We'll keep her running down. I'll set 12, I think. I'd rather set 12 and be lower than really way too high. There's a second sector as well today, so we'll do Roskilde over to Aberdeen, flying over the North Sea and over Denmark for the second leg of today. And as we cross Rocksub, I'm just going to bring that speed to 280 and then begin a gradual entry into descent here. Looking pretty good. Missus is home. Poppy's done quite well. It's 45 minutes that we've been working away up here away from her. I say we, it's just me. David, have a good one, matey. Need to turn some of this lighting on. Where is it? Panel instruments. Just to get a bit of backlighting ready to go. And I'm going to have a quick plop on over onto VATSIM radar just to see what the situation is for us as we fly in, because I'm just thinking about sequencing and things like that for us. We'll have pretty much no aeroplanes into Roskilde. They'll all be going into Copenhagen, no doubt, but pretty much flight level 180, we'll want to speak to him. The good thing is, if we are high in this aeroplane, it has the capability of pretty much just dropping like a rock. So with those big air brakes at the back, we'll be able to kind of whizzle that out as well. Nora Buddy, thank you very much. I think was I right in saying it was your first scenery for the sim? Get that latest METAR in the live chat for you guys as well. And coming up to Tidvu, I'm just going to switch over to Copenhagen for a mo.
Climb level 190 for JustFlight.
Lovely job. It's info golf.
Delta Charlie Oscar, Copenhagen approach, identified.
QNH1009.
Expect vectors valid 22 left, descend flight
Runway
level
21 transition level 65. So we've got to change that in the VNAV.
Delta Charlie Oscar, free.
Oh, maybe not. Is that him?
Runner 278, Mike,
It was him.
approach. Hello, you're here to Edinburgh while Odon 2 Charlie departure, squawk 4552. Runner 278, Mike, wrong. Both of us are wrong. You are cleared by the Odon 1 Charlie departure, squawk 4552. Runner 278, Mike, read back, code break, KLM 5240, it's the Alpha 8 is on right, it's on your right.
Come on, people,
Okay,
let's
could
get
you
in.
repeat
Use some
KLM
charts.
5240, the Alpha 8 is on your 2 o'clock. Alpha 8, KLM 5240.
Ed, welcome. Copenhagen approach, good evening. Osprey 165, Avro RJ100. We've got information Golf, QNH1009 inbound Roskilde, currently flight level 160, past Tidvu.
Osprey 165, Copenhagen approach, hello, expect information Golf is current, expect vectors for runway 21 at Roskilde.
Roger, expect vectors to ILS21 Osprey 165. We're in.
Osprey 45 Foxtrot, Copenhagen approach, hello. Ryanair 4 Victor Whiskey C200. Space Roger, Ryanair 4 Victor Whiskey. Ryanair 4 Victor Whiskey, turn right, heading 190, please clear LS22 left, report established.
I'm continuing the descent. It's not suggested he's not happy with the descent, but we'll see how we get on.
Lufthansa 177, speed 220 knots.
Speed 220 knots, Lufthansa 177.
Austrian 2077, speed 230 knots.
Yeah, that is in line, good. So let's get that on. That on.
Osprey 165, turn right, heading 330, descend to flight level 100.
Turn right 330, descend flight level 100, Osprey 165.
Osprey 8545.
You know what, this is probably going to be a superb approach because quite possibly, we're going over Malmo in Sweden at the moment, but quite possibly we're going to be routed and vectored around Copenhagen, Kastrup, which is over there somewhere. If I've got my geography correct. It is. So there we go, we've got that big old bridge. And that's Kastrup there.
Go to the right through Scandinavian 56 Hotel, god kväll. God kväll, break Scandinavian 505, Monta Advisory 122 desolate.
Let's wash it down to 270. Need to speed up a bit.
Runner 4 Victoria Sierra, request low speed. Runner 4 Victor Whiskey, free speed. Free speed, Runner 4 Victoria Sierra. Lufthansa 177, turn right, correction left, 250, Whiskey LS 22.
We'll wait till we're on the ground and then we'll close that giveaway, the first giveaway of two, to draw the two winners, the initial two winners, out of 4 in total today. Big thank you to VATSIM Scandinavia as well, by the way, for what it's worth, being online. Look at that. That's that famous bridge that then Comes out of Sweden as a bridge, and then for sort of Copenhagen, it just disappears into a tunnel.
177, speed 180 until 60 meters.
Speed 180 until 60 meters.
Osprey 165, reporting KDR speed.
Currently 270 knots.
Osprey 245, speed 250 knots or less. Osprey 452, speed 250 or less. Confirm for Osprey 45 Foxtrot. Osprey 25 Foxtrot, speed 250 or less. Osprey 45 Foxtrot, 230 lateral jet. 250 or less. 250 last Osprey 45 Foxtrot. Austrian 2077. Austrian 2077, return left 280 degrees. Left 0 degrees, Austrian 280.
Sort out the lights.
Delta Charlie Oscar, descend via the star to be at 4,000 feet at Charlie Hotel 626, QNH 1010. Descend via the star to be at 4,000 feet at Charlie Hotel 626, Osprey 165, descend to flight level 60.
Send flight level 60, Osprey 165.
Osprey 45 Foxtrot, descend to flight level 60.
Who's 45 Fox?
Osprey 45 Foxtrot, descend to flight level 60. Send flight level 60, Osprey 45 Foxtrot.
There we go.
Now where's?
Starts the APU through 10. Let's get that on.
Ryanair 278 Mike.
Whoa, what was that?
Please set squawk in mode Charlie. Lufthansa
Ooh,
177
Rob,
minimum
yeah,
approach
that
speed.
must be pretty close, mate.
Minimum per speed of Lufthansa 177.
Say Toga,
Osprey 165, turn left heading 260.
left 260, Osprey 165. About 10 minutes to landing, roughly, is seats for landing, at least with British Airways SOP from memory. Let's bring that down to 20. And you know what?
Austrian
I might
207,
whack this
turn
on.
further left 250 degrees, get ILS runway 22 left.
Course
report
20 VL.
Get ILS to left 250 heading off to 22. Lufthansa 177, wind 150 degrees, 9 knots and 22 left, clear to land.
Roger, do not clear to land, Lufthansa 177.
Bring that to 240. Look at that sunset. For the second sector, by the way, do you want to see nighttime sort of flight, or do you want to see a wind the time back so we have daylight hours? What do you guys want to see?
Osprey 45 Foxtrot,
Look at this.
turn left, heading 270.
ETU go back on. We're about 10 minutes to land now anyway. Want to go. Bring that to 1000.
Osprey 165, turn left heading 240 degrees.
Left 240 degrees, Osprey 165.
Osprey 45 Foxtrot, turn disregard.
Monaco Victor Whiskey Bravo 5.
Lufthansa Ryanair 4 Victor Whiskey, taxi to stand Foxtrot 4 via Bravo Romeo Whiskey, cross runway 12.
Alright, heading.
Foxtrot 4 via Bravo Romeo Whiskey, cross runway 10.
That's on max.
4 Victor Whiskey, thank you.
207, 207.
Good evening to you too, sir. Break Ryanair 278 Mike, please squawk 4552 in mode
So what he's
Charlie.
doing at the moment is stepping us over the traffic going into Kastrup, which is there. So we have our planes around us here. Roskilde is there, I believe. Still a bit high.
Oscar 200, correcting free speed for approach. Oscar 2007, free speed approved.
22 miles. Right, let's get rid of the music so we can focus. Engine air off.
Ryanair
APU's got
28,
conditioning.
Ryanair 278 Mike, do you copy? Ryanair 278 Mike, you are still not squawking 4552 in mode Charlie.
Yeah, I need to step down.
Osprey 165, descend to 3000 feet, QNH 1010.
Send 3000, QNH 1010, Osprey 165.
Osprey 45 Foxtrot, turn left, heading 180. Left heading 180, Osprey 45. And Osprey 165, wind 200 degrees 7 knots, runway 21, clear to land.
Runway 21 clear to land, Osprey 165.
Osprey 165, I was a little ahead of my time. Cleared ILS runway 21, report established.
Wilco cleared, ILS report established, Osprey 165.
And Osprey 165, with that course you should be hitting the ILS just in the 5x5.
Lovely, thank you.
Austin 2007, that's established. Austin 2077, wind 150 degrees 9 knots, runway 22 left, clear to land. Clear to land, Austin 2077.
Let's go that down to 12.
Lufthansa 177, never hold short on the exit way, join Bravo.
So sorry for that, Lufthansa 177, we've gone John Bravo.
Osprey 45 Foxtrot, descend to 3000 feet, QNH 1010.
Flaps 18, speed checked. 14 miles.
And Osprey 45 Foxtrot, speed 230 knots.
180.
Flight slope alive.
Delta Charlie Oscar, roger that. Do you have the airfield in sight? Delta Charlie Oscar, a proceeding aircraft is an
12 miles, come
Airport
down to 180.
320 Nero. Do you have the traffic in sight?
A little bit of work just to get ahead of the descent.
Delta Charlie Oscar, in that case, descend to 3000 feet. You will still get a visual approach.
Right, there we go.
Delta Charlie Oscar,
That's
in that
Copenhagen.
case, you will vacate left.
Cabin.
Couple of little chimneys there, puffing out some smoke. That's pretty cool.
Again, this is Ryanair 6 on November. We await you on the Duplo arrival.
There it is.
Goes, we
Looks like we're established.
First, Osprey 45 Foxtrot, turn right, heading 240 degrees. Right, 240, Ryanair 6, Ryanair 861 November, Copenhagen approach identified, information got current expected.
What have we got?
Left distance, flight level 1
A little bit of a crosswind, predominantly ahead of 7 knots. And Osprey 165 is established 9 miles, ILS 21 Roskilde.
Kia down.
130 degrees, turn base, report airport, airfield in sight.
Right, 130 for base, report
Lufthansa 177, taxi stand Alpha 15 via Charlie, Alpha and Yankee, cross runway 12.
He's still busy. I won't interrupt him
Taxi
just
10
again yet.
Alpha 15, Charlie, Alpha and Yankee, cross runway 12, Lufthansa 177.
Delta Charlie Oscar, visual approach runway 22 left, approved, cleared ILS, cleared visual approach on runway 22 left, report final.
Osprey 165 is established 7 miles ILS 21.
Osprey 165, roger that. Wind is 200 degrees 7 knots, rate 21, clear to land.
21 clear to land, Osprey 165. There's the runway.
Osprey 45,
Bit of a crosswind.
speed 200.
Is that there is a straight line, look. So we are crabbing somewhat.
Osprey 45, Foxtrot, disregard, turn right, heading 310.
Flight 210, confirm.
So what do we got? Approach VREF 121, 126 then.
Maintain present speed, turn right, 310.
What to maintain present speed, right 210,
Osprey 207, and welcome to Castro, taxi stand Alpha 20 via Bravo, Charlie,
126 3000 213.
Look at
this for an approach.
Osprey 2007, join Bravo, then Charlie, hold short runway 12.
Join Bravo, hold short runway 12 via Charlie, Oscar 2007.
And we've got full flap. Out to marker.
Ryanair 8.
Ground speed's only 109. So good. This will help us out with slowing down as well. That's all good. Got cabin secure. Just pop that on continuous for now.
1000.
Confirm 3000 at Abegi or above?
3000 at Abegi.
Okay, thank you. We are able for short line and plan.
That's me just taking over controls. And not sure what it's doing there. A little bit of aggressive fight back on the glide path, so I'm just taking over.
Delta Charlie, Oscar, are you visual?
It's probably this gusty wind actually. See how it's getting buffeted about.
Delta Charlie Oscar, wind 150 degrees 9 knots, runway 22 left, clear to land.
500.
Osprey 45 Foxtrot, turn right, heading 120. Osprey 45 Foxtrot, no worries, turn right, heading 120.
Focusing.
Minimums.
Continue. I'll need to get this down near the threshold in order to stop in time.
2077, you took the wrong turn, continue straight ahead and make a
mode
left
lawn
onto
effect.
runway down to kilo 3.
Air brakes out.
slope.
Sorry, onto the runway down to
Air brakes.
50. 40. 30. 20.
Oh, and it's a floater. Really not ideal.
Ryanair 861 November, proceed direct
And heavy braking.
Then to 3000 feet to be level at a big 1010.
Roger, 3000 Abegi, direct Abegi, Ryanair 8 November.
Come on, kill.
60 knots.
Chuff it, neck. And gently off the brakes. Sort of had everybody slamming their faces into the seats in front. Needs must.
Osprey 45 Foxtrot, turn further right 140.
Now, if everyone could play the Ryanair music, that'd be really handy.
Osprey 165, welcome to Roskilde, taxi to Apron via Alpha and Golf.
Taxi apron now for Golf, Osprey 165.
Thank you for the great service, bye-bye.
177, thank you for flying, please come again.
Taxi. Strobes. Flaps and spoilers.
Austrian 2007, taxi stand Alpha 20 via runway 30, Kilo 3 and Lima.
Probably not a very good score that.
Austin 2007.
Scenery looks pretty cool though.
Via runway 30, Kilo 3 and Lima.
Kilo 3 Lima, Alpha 20,
Pop that into sort of TCAS off
Osprey
mode.
45 Foxtrot, turn
That's reset,
right,
that's all good.
heading 180, cleared ILS,
Let's get
runway
fresh air.
21.
Right 180, cleared ILS, runway 21, Osprey 45.
Oh, hello. That's off-roading.
Delta Charlie Oscar, I can see you have a VIP stand. In that case, vacate right onto runway 30.
Pull that back on L now. He's cleared us to taxi to the
Delta Charlie
stands,
Oscar, welcome to Castro. Taxi to stand Whiskey 1.
which is
via
there.
runway 30
Quite a modern
and
little terminal, to be fair. What have we got? Alpha. Sort out the strobes. Got to put those back on. They go on? Yeah. And runway turn off. Now we go left, Bravo. Rolling on idle, quite nicely. Very cool location, surrounded by all the farmlands and stuff. Wrong button, Lukey. We got. Let's go there. We got Bravo.
Osprey
So
45 Foxtrot, wind 190 degrees power knots, runway 21, cleared land.
we will have to go this way
21, cleared land, Osprey 45.
and then go in through that junction up
Osprey
there.
165, you took an interesting turn, continue via Bravo and left onto Echo.
Yeah, we'll go. Sorry about that. Thanks.
I am sure the heavy amount of traffic is not bothered by it.
Quite a cool looking scenery. This. Look at that for a backdrop as well. Couple of chimneys. There's the airport. So yeah, it's kind of created to be a regional base for some aircraft around Copenhagen, to then also free up Copenhagen Kastrup for the purpose of sort of the big long haul flights, but it just never happened. We'll just spin there. Ooh, where do we park? Sport for choice. To be fair, I've seen them run in and basically just park sideways along the terminal, so effectively we can be sure, I think, that we've got no ground surfaces available here. We'll use that little blue line like so. Oh, look at that for a bit of timing for you guys. Oh, he's gone for a floater as well. Is he going to stop? We're watching him in the corner up there.
Reducing to 20, currently doing 231, thank you, and
Roger.
I might go all the way up to the front here. He's down, just about on the edge of the runway. That's good going. Yeah, safely vacated. Fenix, by the way, Fenix Simulations, folks,
345 Foxtrot, welcome to
have just
Roskilde,
announced
apron via Alpha
that they
and
are
Golf,
now
then
creating
just straight ahead and then a left.
the A320neo and A321neo for Microsoft Flight Simulator. How about that?
And Osprey 45
Look at
Foxtrot,
this.
cross the runway. Roger, cross the runway, Osprey 45 Foxtrot. Ryanair 861 November.
See, that's literally
turn
breaking news as well.
Right, heading 130.
Just been announced. That's very exciting. I think I'll plonk her here because that's less antisocial.
And Osprey 45 Foxtrot,
That's
the
good.
runway
That's
is
all good.
runway
That's all off. That's all set.
11/29.
APU looks good. Jolly good. Right. Orals. Shuffineck. There we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Right. Oh yeah, I mean, hopefully it doesn't take too long.
61 November,
That would be mighty epic
speed.
for the A320s from for the Neos from Phoenix. Here's the flight closure. Off centerline landing. Altimeter
And Ryanair 61 November, turn right, 190 degrees, gear left, 2 to left, report established.
Oh my god.
At 190, please Ryanair, to the left, boys down.
Oh, that's so bad. I can't believe I did that. Whoops. Only got a good touchdown though. Oh, that's shocking, that. Right, what's dinging at me? Electronics, park brakes, AC pumps, recorders, oil pressure low. Yeah, cool, it's good. Just the oil pressure. Rightio. Let's get ready for the next flight then, folks. What do we got here? We can go aircraft, chocks. Yeah, I'm fine with that though, Mitchell, because we know it'll be done properly, won't we? That's the thing. Right, let's go to beta.newsky.app and let's prep the next flight. EKRK to EPGD? No, hold on. EGPD. Aberdeen Dice. RJ100. Oh, it's a light load. And a longer block. We are running really behind here. We're up at 5 in the morning. EKRK to EGPD. Osprey 65. Let's get the routes fired up.
Ryanair 61 November, established ILS to the left.
Ryanair 61 November, wind is 152 degrees and not 22 to left, is land.
The left, cleared land, and can we request Fox 1 for parking?
Ryanair 861 November, Fox 1 it is.
Thank you very much.
Generate flights. Just working on the Simbury flight plan, then we'll have a little look around the scenery before getting clearance. So initially routing to Doble, and then Oddon. Next page, Vaxit. Artex. Lamro. Ovdan. Papa 600 Airway. To ADN, Aberdeen. So overflying the airfield by the looks of it. Init page. Got to reload the jet now, so we're going to go OFP, summary, reload. There's the new route. Aircraft, import. In fuel, sort of refueling instant, just to get that done. Start boarding with stairs. Done.
Boarding is complete.
Lovely job. Right, so we've got gross weight 40.2.
Cabin crew, arm doors and cockpit.
Well, that changed there to 40.8. We'll go with that. Zero fuel weight 33.7. Yep. Cruise 320.
To the Rhine 86 on November.
Ryanair 861 November, speed 150.
Wind average 211 at 58.
Thank you.
ISA deviation at -2. And the transition altitude 5,000. Fuel reserves, Primaris plus alternate 2.4. Execute. Let's see. VATSIM, VATSIM, VATSIM. File that. Good effort, Rab. Start new flights. That should update on your overlay. So many things. Ooh, Navigraph, unload. Import flights. Import flight from Simbrief. PD. No departures. Ooh, that's pretty cool.
Rhine 86 on November, vacating on to the left.
I'm just going to show you this then. So IFR departing traffic from Copenhagen Roskilde, flight planning referred 23A.
Romeo Whiskey, cross runway 1.
Ooh, this is different. Doble direct odd-on is our plan. So, jet. Doble via odd-on.
Thank you for
from
flying,
Arcs.
and see you soon.
Good out, we'll think about it.
Since not established, radar vectors may be used to expedite
all stations, all
traffic.
stations, approach now closing, monitor advisory 122.8. Have a great weekend.
Good night. I was just about to get coverage.
Ciao.
Traffic via Doble below 6.5. Expect at or below 5,000 until leaving the Copenhagen area. Right, gotcha. So we'll set our MCP to 5. Cool. That's all good. 2,000. That's all set. We're going to have to go departures, arrivals, departing. Runway 21. Oh, this is such a short runway. I think we'll go for flap 30 departure, Toga. And then we'll put the route in a little later. Let's go back to Unicom 1228. Let's have a look. Enjoy sunset departure and go from there, or look at this nice little E-Jet paint scheme from FSLTL. Big thanks to Tapsy. Still haven't sent him a little bit of a thank you. This is Aura Scenery Roskilde, Copenhagen Roskilde Airport. Looks fantastic, doesn't it? Look at this. Those lights. Grab a little brewski at the bar. basically a kind of a private jet base, aviation training centre, that kind of thing. But they tried to make it into a regional base. Look at that tower. Right, so the first 2 prizes. Let's draw them now. So the first one is to win a copy of the Papa Delta Szcezecin-Goleniow Airport scenery that we departed from that first leg for today. And the second key, the second winner, will win a copy of this lovely Aura Scenery Roskilde Airport, which is actually pretty cool. Look at that. Really nice bit of work. In a very cool part of the world as well. VOR off in the distance there, look. Oh, I forgot to turn my beacon off. Naughty me. Let's draw those winners then. Right, so good luck to everybody who has taken part. The answer, of course, was Gatwick. That's where I did my flight simulator experience. We've got 20 entries. And the first winner is APG. Congratulations, buddy. You've won the Papa Delta scenery that we started off our live stream at. Make sure you email me, britishavgeek1@gmail.com, and we'll get that sorted out for you. And the second winner is going to win this Aura Scenery Roskilde, and that is Steve J. Congratulations, guys. So there's our first 2 of 4 total prizes for today. Again, Steve, make sure you contact me on britishavgeek1@gmail.com. And we'll get that prize sorted out for you. Well, you've won this beautiful bit of scenery. So what have we got? Chocks, that's all good. Border complete. We're on APU power. Departure is briefed. We're going to go for flap 30 for departure. That gives us a 121 climb out. 214, 5,000. Runway heading here is 207. And we're going to effectively depart, where we got, to stay away from the Copenhagen flight path. So departing southbound, which is in line with Copenhagen's departure as well, to be fair. And then what we'll do is we'll route to basically direct to Dobel, climb away. Once we're clear of Copenhagen Kastrup, we'll then climb up towards Dobel and our cruising altitude, which was, what was it? 340? Something like that. Sim brief, let's have a quick check. Probably get a time penalty for pushing back early as well, but conscious of the time, because I don't really want to be eating dinner at 9 PM tonight and getting up at 5. That's all good, that's all set. Beacon lights are still on because I forgot to turn them on. Off, rather. Anti-ice. That's all good, that's all set. Air's off, APU air is on. Fresh air. Recirc, PTU. Okay, start master, engine 1 start. We are 25 minutes ahead of what I actually booked to fly at on New Sky, so we'll definitely get a penalty for the departure being well early. Hey ho. tired now. Is Steve J in the chat? In any case, he's got 24 hours to get in touch. Two. Doors. Throw the fuel in. Roskilde Traffic Osprey 165's on the apron, engine start. 1228. So we've got 2 more prizes left to give away. 3 starts. And that's 2 copies of the Aura Scenery, the same guys that made this, Aberdeen Dice Airports. It's just recently been updated to work in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Various improvements across the board, so we'll fly in and check that out next. As we monitor the engine starts. Flight director's on as well. 0, Togo Max, that's all good. Landing 33. Connection now 1019er. 4, start. Legs. In. Maps 30 will be interesting. We've got 0. That needs to be set, so we can do that by clicking that button there. Okay, 4 looks good. Off, leave those on. Pop those off. One, 2, 3, 4. Just reset those, they're all good, they're all on, they can stay on. APU. Packs on. Engineer off. That's good, they're off. Start master off, that's now cleared the generators, of course it has. APU stays on, we need all the engine power we can get for this. Taxi lights and flaps 30 will set that first, it's gone to that box there. Flap 30. Left. Right. Brakes off all the way back, all the way forwards. Just quickly do rudders left and right before we start moving. Chocks. Brakes. 12 knot crosswind into Aberdeen apparently. Roskilde Traffic Osprey 165 is taxiing to hold point Alpha 5, runway 21 via Golf, Delta and Alpha. Golf and Alpha actually. Pause the music. That's all good. So this second flight, we've got a flight time of 1 hour 40, block time of 2 hours, so it'll be about 7:30 by the time we get on the ground, just after. Try and make a bit of time up. left and right look good. And then we'll configure for the next giveaway. This is a really nice scenery for Roskilde. Actually complements Copenhagen Kastrup by flying Tampa off over there as well quite nicely. Responder on. Christopher, indeed. Very exciting. Right, runway turn off. Oops.
Cabin crew, please take your seats for takeoff.
Not emergency call. Right, what have we got? 207, heading select.
Cabin is secured for departure.
Roskilde traffic, Osprey 165 is lining up via Alpha 5 runway 21, straight out departure, and then it'll be a right turn heading westbound direct to Doble, below 5,000 until outside of Kastrup's airspace. 1, 2, 3, that's all good. Strobes. Try and take as much of this runway as we can because it's only 1,500 meters long. Bit of a crosswind by the looks of that windsock just on the left of the screen. Rightio. Okie dokie. If you don't have any keybinds set for toga, by the way, you've got to kind of reach and you've got to click those buttons there. Oh, it's super low, the sounds, Christopher, at the moment, but it is the whisper jet. Okay, let's set on the brakes, 40%. Yeah, they're all set, good.
Check thrust.
Whack the power up,
Thrust set.
brakes off.
Airspeed alive. knots.
Oh, this is going to be tight to the end, folks.
Go. Rotate. Positive climb.
Gear up.
Gear up selected.
Look at that for a climb out, though. Gears up, scrolling into 180. And we'll hand fly this first bit.
Speed checked, flaps 24.
Flap 24, gears up, no lights.
Speed checked, flaps 80.
Set.
Speed checked, flaps 0.
sort this out. But we don't want level change. Just want a nice smooth climb. 12. Runway exits. That's good. Flaps up. That's set. That's all good. That's all set. They're all off. Jobs are good. And we'll go for 235. And we'll keep it going actually. Let's go to 342, which is our cruise. Level change. Look at that. Roskilde traffic Osprey 165 is airborne through 5000 outbound Roskilde, heading west, climbing flight level 341. Not enough. Get back on track for Doble. Small adjustments. Rab hat to RTO. What happened, mate? Look at that though, that's spectacular. Shall we get the next giveaway ready to go? Just reset. What shall we set up for a question? Right, that'll do. Okay, so reset all entries. Again, a super easy question. You guys have to answer the following question. What is the ICAO call sign that pilots use when flying for British Airways? What is the call sign that is used for British Airways? Pop your answer in the live chat. And you'll be with a chance to win one of 2 copies of the new Aura Scenery Aberdeen Airport scenery. Not the letters, but the actual what the pilots would say when they're speaking to air traffic control. Not the letters. Traffic. He's clear. 310. Wind her up. Let's go for climb 280. What we can also do is we go engine, recirc, forgot that, whoopsie. Continuous ignition, forgot that as well with the hand flying element. Seatbelt signs, lights and signs. If you off. Add standard pressure, standard pressure. APU, that's fine. And we can bring that range ring right up. We'll whack it on 160 for now. And we'll set climb thrust. We'll chase that sunset. Yeah, not including the shuttle flights, Rab. Touche. Super scenery. We're effectively chasing that sun all the way back to Aberdeen as well, because in the UK at the moment it's still very much quite bright. Oh, Mikhail, epic, you live down there. Very nice. That's one of the big standouts. I think, was it Puffin VFR or Puffin Flight, whatever they call it, where in the new sim they've taken a load of their assets, sold them to Microsoft, and they get all these little chimneys with the little steam vents and things. It makes all the difference. Oops. Make sure I have got. Oh, it's 320 for cruise, not 340. Just thought I'd recheck that just in case. 320. Right, I'm just going to get that Discord announcement out for you folks, so that as we watch the stream today, I can then tell you all of the breaking news from the folks at Fenix, if I can find it. Announcements, road maps. Right, here we go. So, suppose you'll want me to read it out. The picture's worth 1,000 words or something, he says. This is Amir, the CEO, I suppose, of Fenix Simulation. Says, hello everybody, welcome to our 2025 roadmap. It starts with the big Fenix updates, but I think you want to hear about the new thing first. So straight to the point, we built some Neos. And now that we've started flight testing them internally, we felt it a good time to start talking about them. That sounds like they're a lot further along than we might have actually realised. There is still a bit of work to do, but for now I have enough to start outlining some of the juicy details at least. Oh, look at that! Leap 1A, epic. To begin with, instead of attempting to turn our CEO into a Neo with a bit of brain surgery and ECAM fiddling, we've opted to replace the entire ECAM from the ground up to the Neo standard. That is wholly and solely Fenix, no longer shared with ProSim. It's interesting. And as a result, we've been able to dive down ECAM messages and functions not present even with the prior implementation, unlocking a whole host of possibilities for features we're not quite pulling the covers off yet. We've always maintained that we didn't plan on building the Neos, which is true. We've refused to commit to it until we were certain we could bring it an entirely new ECAM without spending 5 years developing it, as the viability of the project hinged on it. It is only in these last few weeks we've finally been happy to give it the green light. This is a 2025 roadmap, but some things aren't quite ready to leave the skunk works. Regardless, this brain replacement meant that we had to start from the beginning once again. We rewired the entire aircraft, every single sensor, valve, generator, pump, switch, button, what have you. She had to learn how to see, breathe and feel again. This time she learned to do it like a Neo, not an old one, nor an early one. A modern standard representative aircraft. While this might seem initially a bit over the top, in line with what we'd like to achieve with this aircraft, we view it as entirely necessary, given this process also allowed us to pull apart anything that simply did not belong on a modern A320 and then toss it. We've been going through the lot, the oxygen, the fuel, the pressurization, the electrical and the bleeds. The correct model bleed monitoring computer has been installed, for example, with requisite changes to its logic, details big and small across the entire network of systems, and they've even replaced the batteries with higher capacity nickel cadmium fantastic. Testing my GCSE chemistry. Nickel cadmium batteries with reduced maintenance requirements, so the NTBF data is adjusted as well. Basically, it isn't a CEO in a face mask. They're going all out creating the Neo. They built drains and functionality complete right down to left-right context sharing, various input validation functions, and importantly the nifty animation too, with the new drains panel wired completely different to the old ACP. Back end being a fully digital system, the Fenix Neo represents this faithfully to the wire. What else? There's a hell of a lot of words. We're looking at launching later this year. We're building the A320neo, the A321neo, the Leaps and the GTS will both be fully represented in XCM. And finally we're putting all of this in one package as a standalone product, no prior ownership necessary, but read on for those of you who own the CEO. So the Neo was not the only one to have a bit of a brain out work. We didn't build one ECAM, we built two side by side. Our Neo in the latest shiny standard and our CO in the standard that you know and have today. They couldn't leave it behind. It's the hammer at which we built the house. So whilst for CEO customers this may not present initially as a massive intermediate difference, we think this is incredibly important in supporting the product going forward and was an extraordinary amount of work to achieve. They've looks like a massive update for the CEO coming soon then as well. We expect to push this improvement to you after our Neos land, whenever in the year that may be. And yes, the CEO update will be free for existing customers. Lastly, for customers that do opt to own both the CEO and the Neos, as a cherry on top, you'll then have a surprise third aeroplane, a modernised CEO based upon the significant work put into building up our Neo, running the latest decams, displays, all of that stuff in the CEO for all of you order break off enthusiasts. That's pretty cool. Indy says hello everybody in the background. Cadmium, yes, cadmium, cadmium, cadmium. Thank you, mate. Christ. Now, what have we got? In a couple of weeks we'll finally push a big Fenix update. And in this update we bring you the promised child, the baby shark A319 with sharklets, or sharkies. Looks like it's based on the American Airlines loadout equipment as well, with a bespoke V7 hot rod motor bringing big power to you via XCM. Of course the IAEs are present too, configured as V2424-2524s. Next, we did the thing we didn't want to. We spent months rebuilding portions of our display infrastructure to support weather. There you go, Christopher, if you're still in the chat, mate. This was painful but necessary. We don't see much movement on the horizon and we'd like you all to have the best experience possible, even if that means a bit of compromise on our side. Weather will roll out with the next update. Nice. Flare and ground effect is the next one. We decided to pursue another principle when building this out, as it is evident from the current experience leaving something to be desired. We opted to rebuild the entire landing profile around data. Oh, again, we're going to have to get used to the landing again. Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. Fortunately, with a bit of time and effort, analysing a few 100,000 real A320 flights from the digital flight data recorder outputs. Lovely. Sounds pretty good. Touchdown stick deflection. Yeah, let's watch that video anyway. From Fenix Sim. This is the A319 Sharkies.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard.
Right. Don't know what that's supposed to be. What have we got here? Either way, that was a smooth touchdown. Ground effect should no longer bounce you back into space should a flare be attempted. That's effectively what that video covered. Fly-by-wire is improved, looking very nice and snazzy. EFB Lido charts now supported. Rewritten the back end of V-speed computations. Good, that was a huge issue, I thought. Weird kind of performance margins and things. And they're looking eventually to refresh the UI as well with the Fenix tablet, interestingly enough. Bandwidth too low, loading times may be extended and world streaming degraded. Thanks, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Custom PDF viewers in the briefing app, that's pretty cool. MSFS 2024 customers, here we go. This update brings with us the first official compatibility patch. Now rebuilt the project for 2024, harnessing the new modular SimObjects system and converting our library of over 700 liveries as well. Furthermore, they've included a full walk-around mode support, including new external panels that you want to see and play with, all fully functional and hooked up to the system. So if you'd like to swing the gear doors open, feel free to walk over and latch the panel and yank the lever. Or if you want to open the cargo doors, you can also do that yourself in the walk-around mode too. That's pretty cool. Refueling panel is functional and present. There it is in the photo. Pay attention to the various limitations of what you're messing with though. As is the way with these things in Fenix aeroplanes, things that seem like bugs may not be. A good example is to make sure the 320 is on level ground, otherwise a bit of uneven ground that you might be parked at might make refueling problematic. It also says jockeying in the right direction. Across both 2020 and 2024, there's a host of sound improvements and updates, including a new 3D AVC soundscape in the flight deck and a completely rebuilt IAE V2500 sound set. Pretty nice. New dynamic touchdown system, individually accounting for each wheel's touchdown rate and therefore generating unique touchdown sounds accordingly. That's phenomenally cool. And then some other changes as well. But there you go, that's effectively the summary. A320neos from the Fenix team, and a big old juicy update coming soon to the CEO as well with MSFS 2024 compatibility. So you know, that is the gift that keeps on giving really from those guys. Really cool. As is that sunset, my goodness. Cabin altitude looks good. The F-28 is really cool. The new version 2 is very nice indeed, actually, to be fair. If you are just joining us, by the way, folks, and you want to be in with a chance to win one of the 2 copies of the Aura Scenery Roskilde that we've got, not Roskilde, sorry, Aberdeen, that we've got left to give away today, all you've got to do in the live chat is answer the following question. What is the spoken call sign that British Airways pilots use whilst in flight? Kalisperis, hello to you. Look at that. I do love this RJ, it's fantastic. We were going to take out the Aerosoft CRJ version 2 for a hop today, but it's still got a couple of things that are being tweaked, so I didn't want to go out and kind of fly it and then have a problem with it, because I know the team are working hard. That is going to be a slightly delayed release now to the 1st of April, so only a few days more to wait, to be fair, for the Aerosoft CRJ version 2. What was, at the time, the first decent aeroplane released from Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. But it sadly, by the sounds of it, won't have native support for a little while for MSFS 2024. It would just be, quote, compatible. Still climbing. She's struggling. Getting there though. 6,000 foot per minute. Max 70. What's our progress time? EGPD at 7 PM. We're making some time back. It was a bit of a tricky one really, sorting out today's live stream. I thought if I had started a bit earlier, it would be sod's law that the puppy won't necessarily settle that well for a bit longer than I would otherwise like to kind of leave her at the moment. Especially now she's on heat, I think. So be a bit more clingy, a bit more anxious, a bit more restless, that kind of thing. Which then gives us the added complication of the other half's parents not being able to look after her because they've got her brother. They've got to pretty much be kept separate. So we had a few working parts to kind of work around today and sort out. Which has sadly meant that the folks in Australia haven't been able to join us today for the live stream. Mikhail, you did, didn't you, yesterday? It popped up on my phone. Very exciting. If you haven't seen it, folks, let me just I'll bring it up. It's something I've been working on. While the puppy rests, my brain is ticking away. So on the merchandise store, shop.britishavgeek.com, there's a new A350 crew section. Look at that, there it is, front and centre as well. Juicy. We've got A350 crew mugs of a variety of sizes. Look at that juicy screenshot there. Lovely. It's the A350 1000. Lovely stuff. And we've also got our A350 crew operations notepad. Adorned on the back as well with the A350's crew kind of little logo thing printed on and the channel logo at the bottom. Sticker pack for those of you who like stickers. Maybe pop them up in little spotter locations, and then the Osprey Airways A350 crew t-shirts with lots of different colours, including green if you like garish. Look at that, there she is, lovely stuff. Got the Osprey Airways logo on the left sleeve, 350 crew in the middle, and then on the back the channel logo right at the back at the top in a whole load of different sizes. There it is on Dave. Looking good. One to go to cruise, and then we'll it's the home leg, isn't it? So if we're not clacking, we're slacking. That's the saying. We'll smash out the speed right up to the edge of the barber pole. We will bring her home. Try and get a bit of that time back. APU's off, just make sure it is, otherwise we're going to be burning fuel like goodness knows what. And it looks like we'll probably lose the race with the sun as well today. We're already over the North Sea though. So we will be looking out for... We've made some good time, you know. We'll be looking out for the ships, the Aerosoft North Sea pack, which I think is... Is that included by default in Microsoft Flight Simulator now, in 2024? Can't remember if it is. There's one ship down below, but we're pretty high, so we're not going to see very much. We're just barely able to get up to the top of the altitude here. We want VATSIM radar, isn't it? VATSIM radar. Looks like Unicom most of the way. VATSIM not too busy. Yeah, I'm not sure actually, Ian. Yeah, it was just after they said it would be a seamless transition for all of your add-ons to port across, which was a complete blatant lie. Spicy weather in Aberdeen for us, by the way, folks. Runway 34, I think, is what we're going to be using. It's got a 12 knot crosswind currently. Offshore helicopter services, main apron. Oh, I'm trying to remember the taxi. That is a complicated airport map. Kind of got to delete most of the gumph. It's all helicopters and stuff. You've got to delete most of the gumph and then kind of just go, right, there's the runway 1634. We're landing on 34. So we'll probably come off at Mike 7, taxi Mike, which also continues that little wiggle there to the main apron. And we've got no stars either, so we'll just have to self-vector onto the ILS, working from Downey, I think, which is the initial approach fix. Let's have a quick little look. Artex, no. Radio, well, departures, arrivals, ILS 34. Where's ATF? Oh, got you. Where's Glesk? Oh, that's all the way over there. Well, we'll just go for ATF1 then. Plonk that in. And we'll just work the vectors instead. We may have a discontinuity. There we go. Where's the Aberdeen VOR? That's miles away. Right, so that's there. So actually we'll leave that discontinuity in. So we'll fly to Aberdeen just before we get to Aberdeen. From Oslo, actually. We will basically route south and we'll work to vector ourselves, and we need to be at 2,500 feet, and my plan will be to kind of join like almost like a downwind leg and then vector in down to 2,500. That's going to be the loose plan. Right, it says if I have to bite the bullet on a wing airliner stick, you just buy direct. Yes, mate. Are you looking at getting the Ursa Minor? Is it the Ursa Minor airline stick? Right, we got Max 7.5. Lovely job. Right at the edge of the barber pole there. Let's get the power up. Giving it everything she's got. Yeah, it's super cheap, aren't they, actually? But to be fair, I haven't heard a single bad thing about the Ursa Minor from Winwing. If I didn't already have their expensive F16 HOTAS, I would have got one. It is pretty cool. Their new 737 style panel looks very good. The only thing I'm finding a bit frustrating at the moment, I've emailed them twice in the last 3 months, asking them questions about compatibility with the 737 MCDUs and the FMSs and things. Because they mentioned to me right at the very beginning, and I then said it in my video, that there would be quite quickly some cross-compatibility across all of the hardware, and that is non-existent still. We're still waiting for that, so that's my only thing about buying hardware from them at the moment that I'm just kind of holding off on. Is as good as it all is, the cross compatibility and a few things that they've promised has yet to be seen. So just be wary of that. But things like the Ursa Minor Airbus style stick, that's you can't go wrong with that. That's superb. And yeah, as Al says there, most people are saying in the live chat as well, and from previous streams and Discord and other things, most people have said it's loads better than the Thrustmaster stick. And I think it's only like, in the UK, it's about 60 quid, or like $100 US in total. It's amazing. Don't forget, folks, that giveaway to win Aberdeen Dice, 82 quid, Chris, thank you. We've got 2 keys to give away, currently only 20 entries, so there's a decent chance of your name being pulled out of that bag. But basically, all you need to do is answer the following question. What is the spoken call sign that British Airways pilots use whilst in flight? Still not shaved any time off. Look at that, bloody hell. I'm going to get rid of ADN. I think, oh no, I'll leave it in there. I could just go heading mode from Oslo down to ADF. That'll be the plan. See if it picks this up. Yes, that's pretty good. That's the threshold for runway 34 at Aberdeen. And I want 4. Actually, hold on. 339 at 4. Whoa. And I want 159 at 8. So I know at 8 miles I must be at 2,500 feet. And that'll help me with my vectoring. So I pop a couple of fixed rings in. Just, active, of course it's not. Alright, we're there. And I think it's just little old me flying along on this one, isn't it? Direct 2's dead easy in this. You can just do that, execute Bosch direct, comes up on the display there, and it takes you then to Artex. Just nibble away at that as well. Looks like we can get another. Oh no, we're right on the barb pole, aren't we? Yeah, right on the edge. Max 7.5, maxing her out. £65 on Amazon, Ian. That's amazing. I'm going to check that now. Let's have a little look. Should have given you my Amazon affiliate link. Oh yeah, $64.99. Real, that's pretty cool. Real Motors got that as a birthday present as well. That's decent. What the? Whoa, right on the edge of that overspeed. Naughty. Yeah, £82.30 on the WinWing store. So for 65 odd quid, that's epic. The only query is it definitely brand new? It's not been refurbished or anything in. That's the only thought. It's 20 quid discounted. Why? That's quite a percentage discount, isn't it? Those of you with the Ursa Minor stick, how weighted is that stick? Because when I flew the flight simulator experience at Gatwick the other week, the thing that surprised me the most was how hard, or how firm, probably is probably the best way to describe how firm that control stick was, that yoke, not the yoke, sorry, the Airbus control stick, the side stick. And it actually used quite a little bit of pressure and power to try and you know, move it left, move it backwards, that kind of thing. But it made you really feel as if you had a 64,000 kilogram aeroplane at you know, in your hand. Really quite cool. But I didn't know if the Ursa Minor did that. I know the Thrustmaster stuff nowhere near achieves that at all. And you would absolutely need to clamp it down if it was quite firm. That was one of my biggest takeaways from that flight simulator experience, was just how incredible the it's a fake gimbal and there's some counter pressure. Here's the nice juicy RJ cabin. Have I released the passengers? Yes. But apparently they can smoke today as well. Oops. You can adjust the tension of the stick, giving it a fair amount of dampening. It's basically just a ball joint full of grease. That's pretty cool. There we go, no smoking. Loud on these surfaces. Whoa! Yeah, that's GSX being weird. What the? Need some like horror music. So in theory, you can probably turn the stiffness of the side stick quite high with WinWing then, surely. Meaning you get it a little bit truer to life. Ian, epic. That's a cracking deal, that. You still need premium deluxe version of the simulator to get the 787 Cupid Demon is asking. Do you already have the 787 in MSFS 2020? Because if you do, you could just get standard edition of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and all of your previous marketplace items that you had in 2020 will be able to move across, with the exception of the ones that have been permanently deactivated. But there is one by Bravo Airspace that people have said is okay, but I've never tried it. But I don't know if it works for 2024. That one, I'm not 100% certain. Carlita says the Ursa Minor from WinWing has a short travel and some springs to create the pressure and dampening adjustment. He's moved to the Moser force feedback AB9 now. It's an all new world, crikey. Yeah, I mean that's a lovely bit of kit, that, but crazy money, isn't it? Let's have a little look. Moser FFB AB9. Because you need the base, which is like 500 quid, isn't it? And then you need the stick. So you need this first. Stand by. Hold on, let me just sort this out. I'll just wiggle it down to 268 to keep the airplane happy. What were we doing? There we go. So you need the Moser AB9 base. Big old bit of kit. Where's the price? Buy now. Not allowed. Computer says no. That'd be no, that's AliExpress. Jesus. 548. Well, that one there, Pure Sims, 460. And then you also need that one, I suppose, 170 quid for the flight stick. Oh, you also need the Axis module, which is 65 quid. Oh my goodness. That's very expensive. It's got some fairly low visibility in Aberdeen, 6 miles. Oh, actually, I think that should mean all the 9s. Temporary showers and rain. Because that's just minimum visibility there, I think. Yeah, there you go. 280 at 16, all the 9s, scattered 4,100 and at 4,900. 9 degrees Celsius, dew point 2, QNH 1002, temporary showers and rain for the weather. Just going to click that there, wind. Crikey, look at that, 94 knot crosswind. Ian Epic, you're going to enjoy that. Good tier room motors, thanks. $80. Oh, that's off Dax already. Off Dan. I might slice that a little bit. So effectively, if I show you Volanta real quick, we're sort of flying up like that and then we go across. But if we slice it, because we're on Unicom, so what I might do is wait till we get a little bit closer and then slice across. Do a direct to Boudon or something. Logan Air ATR's departed out of Aberdeen for Bergen. I still hop. Ian, send it back to them. Get them to bin it for you. Mind you, knowing them, what they'll do is just resolder it and sell it as reconditioned. Mikhail, nice. I've just seen in the members lounge, mate, your Wingwing Ursa Minor. That looks superb. Wow. Tiny little turn. So we've got 80 miles to Ovdan, then top of descent just after that. Let's see how we're getting on with progress. 1850. This weather's battering us. It's still, we've done that little direct 2, and we're still just tickling on 7 PM for touchdown. Not too bad though. I thought we were ticking on towards 8 at one point. Oh, rumour said the 757 from Bluebird is going to be superb. I'm really looking forward to that. It's been on my radar for a number of years. One of my all-time favourite aeroplanes. Taken me on many holidays from the age of, well, as early as I can remember, about 3. So I'm very keen to get into like a Britannia Airways livery and all that kind of stuff, relive all of that. I keep meaning to put my Boeing Thrustmaster yoke onto eBay as well. I know some of us were discussing that in the members chat the other day. It's got that annoying thing that is starting to happen where if I push forwards on the yoke, I think it was, or left on the yoke, it then starts to cause a spasm in the other axis, like a twitch, until you kind of go full deflection and it kind of resets itself, which is not ideal in flight. But some people know how to fix it. Apparently it's quite an easy fix. So some people open it all up and they just resolder. They move a wire that's crimping on another wire, and that's pretty much it. And they resolder something potentially. But beyond that, that's all it requires. But I don't know how to do that, and I've gone to have a look at doing it, but I've bottled it. So I might just sell it as like a kind of used spare parts type thing. Then I don't know if it's worth my time doing that, because it won't be worth very much, and I bought it with my own money. But it has pretty much confirmed to me that I wouldn't really be a fan of buying anything Thrustmaster again, because it is proper cheap tat. A lot of you are now seeing that with the Airbus sticker that's breaking for a lot of you as well in the chat. And you ended up getting that Wing Ursa Minor instead. The build quality, half the price, 10 times better build quality. It shows. Very excited for Meridian GMT though, the new kind of version of, well, the founder of Honeycomb, bringing out a new company. Quite excited to check that out as well. Although I have emailed Nikki, I've heard nothing for weeks. Probably because I was quite vocal about the whole thing back a number of months ago. But they, you know what, honesty is key. Runway elevation 215, landing altitude 200, we'll set that. What we got for minimums, 200 on the Radout. And on the Barrow, 415, set 420. I'd rather go higher than lower. Will, welcome aboard, thanks. Thrustmaster fault is potentiometer issue with the wire pulling on it. It's not easy to fix and it normally returns tat. Fair enough. Fernando, a lot of people are having the problem I had with the yoke where the potentiometer starts to break or starts to get faulty. And it's basically as if you're kind of getting the stick and you're wiggling it left and right, or forwards and left, or forwards and right, however it presents. But basically it's just poor build quality. The problem is, Carlito, if I'm being really honest about Thrustmaster, some people, they've rolled into bed with them and they've taken big sponsorship deals and all that kind of thing. I get, for them, it's probably very difficult to criticise the build quality and the cost of the units as well. But for a very long time, Thrustmaster effectively have had no competition that could get close. So we've kind of just made do, and no one's really questioned the poor build quality. And over the years, I suppose, they've been able to just get a little bit cheaper, and a little bit cheaper, and a little bit cheaper. And over time, you don't really kind of realise the plastic's degraded in quality a little bit. It's just got a bit cheaper, it's got a bit tattier, it's got a little bit lighter. It's only lasting a year instead of 4 years, for example, that kind of thing. And you only notice it then when all of a sudden a competitor like Winwing arrives with a very similar product and goes, hey, here you go, we're selling an Ursa Minor stick for 80 quid. And then people compare the two and I'm like, my goodness. So it's a shame, because Thrustmaster can and should be a lot better. But it's just like they kind of sat back with their arms up behind the head, thinking, you know what, we've got the market, we're all good. And that's a really bad place to be. as someone else said in the live chat, there should be constant innovation, pushing the boundaries, keeping the quality high as well. Especially at the price they're charging. It's as if the quality is perfect, but it's not. It falls really, really short, I've found. What's that weather doing? It's a full crosswind. $80 miles, 12 down. So I don't want to do a direct to just yet, because if Scottish comes online now, then we'll have to account for that. I'm just looking around at various other bits of traffic to try and sequence us. I'm going to have a little look at VATSIM radar, see if anyone's inbound to Aberdeen, and how that might then affect the sequencing. Currently nobody is shown, just me. Brilliant. Oh well, in that case, I'll just go direct. I'll just go direct to final now then. What do you reckon? Yeah, the new Airbus throttle and flap gear lever set ours is there from Winwing that's coming. It's been showcased at FS Weekend. Looks phenomenal, doesn't it? So I'm very excited for that. The only thing is their new rudder pedals sound extremely expensive. But then again, you know, Winwing are the people that are innovating in flight sim at the moment now, certainly for the civilian side of stuff. Really pushing it. 747-400 for me, the good old school Queen of the Skies real motos. That's what I'm really looking forward to the most. Replicate the old school British Airways, hops, Heathrow, Miami, that kind of thing. That would be really nice to be able to go and do. And then, yeah, as you're saying there, the freighter, you get a lot of options with that. Just starting to tickle into a bit of darkness now. Sun's starting to go down where I am. So it should be a bit darker in Aberdeen. Some choppy weather. Let's go, what do you reckon? Directed to initial course fix. What do you reckon, Birdman? Because that's there, look. You can see me fix ring. Yeah, I'm the same, real motos. We've got no stars, nothing like that. Oh, you know what we need to do? There's me thinking about going direct to. Let's just make sure I've set up for the approach. 109 decimal 9er, course 339. Lovely. 339. Whoa. 109. 9. Let's get that on now, shall we? Aberdeen 14.3 for a missed approach. That's set, and the ADF's 348. Actually, I'll use ADF2 as well. 348. I'll flick that one on so we get the DME readout for the ADF for Aberdeen ATF. That's basically the beginning of the glide slope for us, effectively. Yeah, screw it, let's go legs. ATF of that. Bosh, direct to. Send it. Good old North Sea. The aeroplane's going to have to fight that wind now as well. How's that affected our progress? Let's have a little look. Prog 1854, look at that, we've shaved 5 minutes off, so that'll be shut down at 7 PM. 52 nautical miles to top descent. It's a bit of a loose fix though. Fuel's good. Nav course, there's our fixed rings and our extended sensor lines as well. I'm just still monitoring Aberdeen. There is literally nothing inbound. And I'm currently flying over the east of Gannet and Montrose Fields Marine Protected Area, apparently. When we do get on the ground, we'll draw the winner, or the last 2 winners of today. The chance to win the Aura Scenery Aberdeen Airport that we're flying into today. The visuals in this sim is so good. What's the weather doing tomorrow? The question for me now is, do I ride in or do I drive in? 5 AM, 1 degree. Oof, it's a bit chilly. What about at Heathrow? Let's see. 3 degrees. Cloudy, sunny. Slight warming expected over the next few days. What about the way home for tomorrow? 11. So thermals in the morning. Bit fresh. Yeah, 1 degree, it's pushing it. 45 minutes on the motorway. That's about wind chill on my hands of about -16. Peter, good to hear your legs healed up, matey. To be fair, when the weather's a bit cold, it doesn't help those aches and pains either, does it? miles, down to 2.5. We'll aim for a continuous descent all the way down to 2.5. There's the North Sea stuff, a little oil rig and a ship. That's pretty neat. I do like seeing all of that, to be fair. It makes all the difference. Especially when you've got that sun from MSFS 2024 lighting it all up. Let's see if we got one on this side. No. Oh, that's pretty mega, isn't it? Look how superb that looks. 19 degrees on Thursday, Ralph. That's very good for Scotland. Basically, mankini weather, isn't it, for you guys? Caribbean temperatures. Let's quick revisit the charts. I'll change that because that is no longer the plan. We're coming in over the North Sea, straight in like so. But before we reach ATF, which is right there, because that does bring us in a bit tight, what we'll do is we'll come south a little bit as we near, and that will just give us a nice little kind of 30-degree intercept. That's what I'm going to try and achieve. Down to 2,500 feet there. And then that little 3-degree glide slope from about 7 miles into Aberdeen. Missed approach is climb straight ahead to 3000, then as directed. With com failure, straight ahead to 2500, then turn right to lock centre Downey 2500. That's basically the hold there. Just as a backup. So 1099, 1099, course 339, minimums, all that's set. Landing elevation is already set as well. Well, I don't think it's going to be that accurate, Chris. It would be mighty impressive if it is. If it was. Let's set 12 for an initial descent. Oh, that's interesting, look. It intervened. And levelled us off automatically there as a overspeed protection. I've never seen that in the aeroplane before, but we've been able to trigger it today. That's pretty cool. That's very cool. My new sky score is going to be horrendous, I reckon. Let's bring that down to 80. Go for 2800. Let's just see how the speed stabilises. David, hello matey. Yes, I am, unfortunately. Although it has meant that because of the later streams time, I've not been able to put the roast in. So everything's had a knock-on effect today. But you know, events that have taken place. Poor little Ted being put to sleep. More important. There's the contrails. Look at that. But yeah, we're still working away. Almost into Aberdeen. Last chances though to get your entry in to win a copy of the Aura Scenery Aberdeen Dice Airport for MSFS 2020 and 2024. All you've got to do is be a subscriber and answer in the live chat the following question. What is the spoken call sign that British Airways pilots use when operating their flights to air traffic control? Whatever that answer might be, pop it in the live chat and be in with a chance to win. Let's whack it up to 280. Let's keep that speed coming out. Let's whack it back up to 290, shall we? Let's go. Let's trim a little bit more time off the clock, shall we? Let's get the prog page up here. Slip back to 1900. Chuffineck. Can't win. We'll keep the speed as high as we can for as long as we can. That's going to be the plan. We'll do 1800. Bring the speed back. Then we'll use speed brake to descend quicker. Yes, I like the plan. What we need is some panel instrument lights there. Instrument lights. Just get ourselves all set up ready for the approach. 3 gardens to cut, Rab, Chuffineck. Come down to Oxfordshire and do mine if you want. I'm sure a 4th won't make a difference. We got that's all good. Creep her up to 300 knots. Zoom, zoom. How's that progress page looking now? 1858. chasing that sun all the way in. Can't see any more ships and things. That's on for the nav as well. Make sure the radio stacks are on for that. In the descent, so I can hear the crew banging around. I'm pretty sure that's a sound that I heard there. Crew banging around those carts. Quite a cool little noise being fed in. Don't know if you can pick it up in the stream. Like banging and clunking, that kind of thing. Really cool. I reckon we'll get touchdown just as the sun goes down, which would be pretty neat. QNH 1002, and I must remember to set the QNH this time. That was pretty naughty of me last time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has switched on the fasten seatbelt sign. Please attend your seats and fasten your seatbelt.
These things happen, Rab, don't they? When you stop simming as frequently as I used to, you start to really kind of lose those little things here and there. You see, like when I did that flight sim experience at Gatwick the other day, my brain was working so full. It was such a different environment for me that at V1 at home, I'll take my hands off the throttle when I put them on my lap, or if I had a yoke, I'd put the other hand on the yoke and I'd pull back on the stick. But I was so focused on taking off that when that V1 call came out, I kept my hands on the throttle because my brain was working at pretty much maximum. Bring that in a bit more. Heading bug's looking good. So we'll offset, so that's 260. We'll go to 240 degrees when we get a bit closer, just to kind of give us that nice little curved heading as we slice into the airfield. Sounds like the puppy's being a little minx downstairs. Pretty much set all this lighting up as we want it now. I don't want them too bright. She's doing well, Peter. Although the other day took her for an MRI scan, she got diagnosed with elbow dysplasia, so very similar to what Loki had in his elbow, where it hasn't quite developed properly and the joints aren't quite sitting as they're supposed to be, the kind of knobbly bit of the elbow, so to speak. So she needs some keyhole surgery, and that it's going to be about $7 grand in May or June, I think it might be. And that would be 6 weeks of crate rest, and then 6 weeks of single room confinement, which is going to be impossible because she won't even be one at that point. It's crazy. But it's very much a do we leave it? It's very mild apparently. Do we leave it and just let it go on for a couple of years, but that will then create problems later on? Or do we just get it done now and touch wood, that fixes it and it's the last problem she has? But knowing our luck, it won't be the last problem she has, but it is what it is. Yeah, we got insurance, but it won't necessarily cover everything. $20, whoosh. You know what, we better slow down. $240 will do us. We're zooming on in. Hopefully that'll mean we go through 250. At 10. Get rid of this weird music. Focus on the approach. But don't forget the QNH 1002. We check a V pilot, how we're getting on. Edinburgh, Newcastle, jolly good. 20 miles, so 50 miles I'll call in. Big shortcut grab, yeah. But it saved me no time, weirdly enough. But it just meant that my arrival into Aberdeen is a bit neater, because otherwise it would be trying to kind of vector into a downwind leg. Instead I've kind of just cut in. So I'll drift off south shortly. Just keeping an eye on our fixed ring. 8 miles there is exactly where we want to be at 2,500 feet. So the continuous descent's looking pretty good. Speed's coming down nicely to match the altitude through 10 at 250 hopefully, if I've got that right. Probably going to be penalised for the Barrow not being on 29902 as well. Whoops. Seatbelts. Coming up to 10, let's get the APU started. Toga Max, it is the power setting. Cancel the master caution. Yeah, it's all mine. And look at that, we're live time, live weather as well. Absolutely, I mean that looks realistic, doesn't it? How superb. There we go, bang on, 250, coming up to 10. Ice detected, oof. It's a surprise. We are minus 10, outside air temperature though. We have just gone to a little bit of cloud. Just keep an eye on that. $215. Okay. Left 240 degrees. Off the track. My heading. Lights, signs, that's all set. Put the logo light on. And we've got wing ice detectors, so let's get the wing lights on as well, just so we can look out and spot any. APU air is on. APU is available. Let's get engine power air off. Ice prot is on. Ice detected has gone out. Inbuilt weather Chinook. 8,500. There's the start of our approach. Aberdeen traffic, Osprey 165. So Avro RJ100 with a QNH 1002 for the field, descending through flight level 80 to 2.5, expecting the ILS approach, runway 34. We'll report turning final, Aberdeen. Keeping the speed up. 1856, so brought 4 minutes back. Yeah, to be fair, Infinity Simwings, when I visited those guys down at Gatwick, they were using Active Sky and it was absolutely incredible. But then they also had an RTX 5090. So I could literally, from flight level 190, I was literally able to spot the street in Coventry that I grew up in, which is just, it's just phenomenal. It really was quite something. Swim and climb, hello Andrew. Hopefully mate, I suppose it's a question of whether or not they would send it to me for like a review. I would absolutely love to take a look though, for sure. but I suppose it's dependent on price. If it's something that I'll purchase, then I will wait until my Honeycomb Bravo breaks. But if they send me a copy to review, then I'd really happily take a look, because it does look superb, doesn't it? And I'd love to show you guys what I think. But I've got a lot of big money purchase things coming up, so I've got to try and really scrimp and be careful with what I'm spending. Look at this! Cheeky little wind farm. Ship out there. So this is where the North Sea stuff really comes to life. Another one there. Amazing. I'm actually going to turn auto throttle off. And I'm going to take control of the throttle myself. Because I've not done that in this before. And I want to. 27. 39, so it'll be right into 300 degrees. A little bit of speed brake.
Captain, 360 for land.
$300, 1099, 1099. Hopefully it's cabin secure.
For arrival.
Good. Oops. So that collar's on max. VOR lock. It's arm approach mode now, actually. Early doors. Right. Still a few more seconds to get your entry in if you've not already done so. So if you want to be in with a chance to win one of those lovely sceneries that we've got to give away today, it's Aberdeen over there, then in fact I want to go right 10 more degrees, then make sure you pop your answer into the live chat before we shut down and draw the winner. There'll be 2 copies of this Aura Scenery Aberdeen Dice Airport left to give away, courtesy of our friends at Aura Scenery, as we finalise the flight for today. A little 2-sector hop. I hope you've enjoyed it. What do we got? Let's go speed checked, flap 18.
Localizer alive.
Check.
Speed checked. Gear down.
There's the runway. Aberdeen traffic, Osprey 165 is established 9 miles ILS 34 to land. Manual control of the throttle. 2.5, levelling off. Need a little bit more power to maintain altitude and speed. 160 is next. UNH, oh my goodness. I've done it again, haven't I? 2009.
Light slope alive.
Thanks, Miguel. My goodness. What a clown.
Glide slope capture.
I was so focused on the throttle element that I forgot what I'd literally mentioned 5 minutes ago. Okay, there's the glide slope. Can't believe I've just done that again, my goodness. What a buffoon. Anyway, beautiful approach over the city. You've got the amazing kind of docks over there as well. And in fact, if I just sort out the speed a wee sec. Hopefully I don't cause a problem. Look at that. Wind farms and all that kind of jazz as well. Really cool. Oh yeah, QNH 1004 now. I wrote 1002 down in my book from the previous METAR, I think. Good spot. 118. Two, three. Gears down, 3 green. Speed's coming off, flap 30. My controls, let's hand flower all the way in, shall we, folks?
Speed checked. Flaps 33.
Set. It's a really cool approach, this.
1,000.
We've got a 25 knot crosswind, left to right at the moment. And currently, the new METAR winds 270 at 14, gusting 24. Variable 230 to 300, so we can potentially get some wind shear on final approach. So I'm just keeping that speed a little higher than I would otherwise want it. So 123 would be my approach speed. I've gone for about 130. If that speed does veer back, drop off, gust, I've got a little bit of play in my indicated airspeed for safety. Whey, there we go. Look at that. You can see the wind display on the nav display there, just tickling up. Then it drops off. And the thing with this Avro RJ, or the JustFlight RJ Professional in MSFS 2024, it handles so well. Cheeky monkey. Right, look at that. The wind's chopping all over the place. She's still working away quite nicely.
Minimums.
Continue.
100.
Air brakes out.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Whey.
Ground idle.
Left a little bit of power in for touchdown
Spirals,
there.
yellow and green.
Oh, that's a lot of right rudder to try and keep her steady there. 24 knot crosswind. Oof.
Brake pressure checked.
Jeepers.
$60 knots.
Heavier on the brakes to vacate here. And we'll get rid of the spoilers and the flaps. APU's already lit. Vacating. There's that windsock, look at that. Gusty, it's literally horizontal. And this new scenery looks phenomenal, look at this. Especially this time of day as well, look at the tower. Aberdeen traffic, Osprey 165 is vacated at Mike 7, taxiing via Mike to the main apron, Aberdeen. That looks superb. That is idle. What have we got? Let's see. Alrighty, well, that can be the end of our giveaway. And with it, the answer... Jesus, look at this. So we got 2 copies of this to give away. Amazing. It's basically like the international airport for the oil rigs. Aberdeen. Lazarus, Kalispera. Yeah, effectively, nice easy answer. The question of what is the spoken call sign of the British Airways pilots when they're in flight for air traffic control? The answer, of course, was Speedbird, as we all know. So well done to everybody who answered correctly. Basically everybody that answered correctly. The winner is Will. Congratulations to you, matey. If you're in the live chat, don't forget to email me, britishafgeek1@gmail.com, to get your copy sent out to you. We'll get that arranged. And we've got 1 more copy as well left to give away. GSX parking. 7 then. Say 7, but they haven't been dispatched on site. Maybe I don't have a profile for this. Hey ho. Looks like they've gone over there, in fact. Well. And the second winner is Hannes DJ. So congratulations to you as well. There are 4 winners for today's flights. One of the Papa Delta Goleniow scenery, 1 copy of the Aura Scenery Roskilde. He concentrates as he's trying to stop. There we go. And 2 copies of this lovely Aura Scenery Aberdeen dice. Let's do that. I can go off there. As always, all the winners have got 24 hours to contact me, after which we will re-roll and probably do a Discord giveaway or something similar to that for others. Beacon, remember to turn that off this time. Happy days. We can pop the ice detection switch off. Clear the master cautions and the warnings. Lindy says hello to everybody. And this is pretty much as I remember. It's quite a bland, bleak looking kind of concretey big building, but big changes to the kind of night lighting of the decals and things. Animations, a couple of folks walking in and out. I think I remember them from last time as well, but the main thing is big compatibility with MSFS 2024. And a huge area right off in the distance. Don't know if you can spot it. One of the VORs. Little things like that that they've thought about and put in. Car parks. That tower looked superb as well. There we go, folks. I've got to rush off and go and get dinner. I hope you've all had a great couple of hours watching these 2 flights in the JustFlight RJ Professional. 3 newish sceneries that we've been able to enjoy today. So big thank you to the developers for offering us some copies as well for a giveaway, part and parcel of the live stream. Congratulations to our 4 winners. But in the meantime, as always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you've not done so already in the background. And you'll be able to get all of these sceneries via various different third-party vendors like Sim Market. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you next time. Take care.